co-host Paul Hall, author of the Hollow Man series. We're going to talk about the book you guys are launching, AI for Authors. And Frank and Paul, thanks for stopping by. We'll jump really quickly to Frank. Closer to this, when this book launches, when you talk to other people about AI, what are their responses to you, Frank? Is a lot of people around you even using AI yet?
Well, I apologize for the construction around the house here. Um, uh, I talk to authors and they get a mix. Most of them say, "No, I don't use that." Or publishers like, "No, I wouldn't use that." But other people, they just don't really know what it is. And I think this book that we are, that Paul and I are doing for AI for authors, and doing seminars, I think it's going to be very interesting for them to learn.
We don't hear it, Frank, so don't worry. It's a little low. You might think it's able to take this noise. Okay. Paul, what about you?
Yeah, I think a lot of authors are afraid of AI, and mostly because I think that they don't really understand what it is and how you can utilize it as a tool, not to write your books, but to emphasize editing and research and brainstorming questions. You ask it a question and it can give you an answer, sort of things. And they're already actually using a lot of the elements of AI. They just don't realize that they are, like the editing things of Grammarly and Pro Writing Aid and those kinds of things. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it all started with Grammarly 15, 16 years ago. And I think every author has used Grammarly at least once, right, Frank?
Yeah, yeah. And to respond to Paul's statement, if you're using a search engine to do research, which every author does, then you're using AI. You're just not in the way that it could be used. And if you use AI instead of a search engine, which I don't use search engines anymore, I'd use AI and ask them a question, and it organizes all the responses that you normally would have to organize and click through each site in order to get your information. So that's what's really kind of good about using AI is as far as doing research. It saves you an awful lot of time.
Right. And that's the key thing, guys. And that's where, AI for authors, AI for podcasters, AI for anyone, the percentage of people as we're about to hit the 2 year anniversary, I think now, since AI launched with ChatGPT, I think it'll be a 2 year anniversary. Where have we gone? How many people are still using it? And how many people are fearful saying this is garbage? And it ultimately isn't garbage because we don't know what's happening in the back end with a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of different things. And if you can get this for free right now or for $20 a month and make your process a lot quicker and give people who might have not had the time to write a book now, that's huge, Paul, right?
yeah, here's the thing about AI is that we actually went and did the research and asked AI itself, what is your role in writing a book? And the book then that it produced itself told us that it's exactly what we've been talking about. It's for research, it's for companionship, it's for to actually ask it questions, to be a bounce, a muse, sort of another viewpoint to bounce questions off of and research for you, and which you have to do anyways, and edit for you, which you have to do anyways, and all those kinds of things.
And Frank, if you're anti AI and you're anyone in this society, what's going to happen to you? Is it going to be like the people who refuse to do email, people who refuse to use the telephone?
I don't
What do you
think
think?
the people that say the word is not refusing. The word is they don't understand or I mean, that be small amount of people just won't use AI. That's kind of silly. That's like I'm not going to use a Roomba.
I mean, really, when the numbers came out last year, 40% of people are only using AI, and most are younger people. Now, I'd like to know the regular basis how many people are using AI, meaning going to ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Claude, or any of those different things. And then are they functionally doing it right? Right,
Yeah, no,
Frank?
like Paul, you go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the again, AI is not it's not doing any thinking really. It's just searching the web for things that are already out there for you, and just categorizing them, organizing them into something simple enough to feed back to you. It's not, it doesn't think for itself yet. It's not Terminator stuff like that.
No,
It's
it's not.
it's
And that's going to be the interesting thing because we're going to go live in 15 minutes where we're going to come up with book ideas, all three of us, and show people just it's really basics. The book goes into so much deep detail, but we're going to see if AI can write certain books, and we're going to come up with the weirdest genres in the world for a 15-minute without sharing screen because we're only way we share screen is you have to come to our workshop for AI for authors, and that's going to come coming up. Be ready, ladies and gentlemen. But okay, so Frank, what do you think are still your complex things that frustrate you about AI?
Uh, to tell you the truth, not really much. Every time I used it, it gave me what I needed. I mean, but you got to be careful too. You got to be make sure you phrase your question in a certain way. I've asked the AI to do certain things, maybe to punch up a particular chapter or something, because I want to see what they come up with. And sometimes I get the I am not programmed to to respond in that area. So you do get that sometimes, but then I change the question a little bit and boom, So it takes a little experience to ask the proper format for the question to get the answer. But what's good about AI is that you're able to change to ask it multiple questions until you get down to what you're looking for, and it won't yell at you.
Now, Paul, did you get a chance, a conversation to talk to people about this book you're having come out, you and Frank?
Not yet. I'm actually trying to figure out a way to kind of ease into it to say that this book was actually written verbatim by AI. And so you can see that AI knows its own place. It knows its own role in doing this, and it does not want to write your whole book for you. It tells you that right in its own words, its own story. So.
What
Right.
about okay?
The book is untouched by human hands. The book itself is totally written by Malcolm, who is the AI agent, and they write we haven't touched anything on the responses.
Okay. That makes complete sense in so
Mhm.
many ways. And there we go in certain aspects. All right. So let's jump into specifically enough what you've not told anyone, Paul, yet. Frank, have you told people you're writing this book?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you tell other people you've been writing this book?
No, I
Or
haven't. Not yet.
you've
No.
not told. So this is firsthand is that if you're on these live streams, which again is live streamed on my Facebook as well, and it's interesting. People, how many people? As we just, I'm starting next week to start going live on TikTok as well, where I'll have a TikTok camera right here showing me doing the podcast live, and it'll be interesting to see what TikTok says because that's a place that people really want to know information, and that's why we're going to go live in about 5 minutes and we're going to really have fun writing. Every one of us is going to come up with a book idea and then basically see what kind of book is written. And it could be craziness. We're going to ask questions. We're just going to get the outline, the chapters, and you're going to see, guess what? It's your idea generator. But is those ideas really good or not good? Give an example where AI stinks. VidIO is a really good program to break down and create reels and shorts off of social media. The problem is they don't get this whole thing yet with podcasting. They think that a conversation back and forth, seeing cameras going back and talking is what people want to see. No, people want to see one person talking the whole time, giving a hook and information. AI's not figured that out yet. After 2 years, Paul, they've still not figured it out yet. It's so simple. Let the host ask a question. So if I was saying an idea for somebody, create a software for podcasters where it clicks off after the question so you can get those golden nuggets of information, Paul. But AI has not figured it out yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean they're still it's in its infancy and it's still learning as it goes, and it's not actually the computers that are learning, it's the people who drive the computers that are learning more about how to interact with questions and give you explicit or common sense kind of language results, sort of thing. Um, so I mean, computers are still just computers. They do what you tell them to do, right? So it will be in our lifetime. There's not going to be any sentient creative thinking from computers in our lifetime here, amongst us here. But it's still learning, and it's a whole learning phase, and we've been learning for 2,000 years. So this is just part of the learning process that we go through.
Part of the learning curve, right, Frank?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So, best place to go is just reach out to both of them, Frank Fiore on Facebook, all the different platforms, and Paul Hollis on all the platforms as well. Appreciate it, guys, and I look forward to this experiment live we're going to do in a couple seconds. You're listening to the special simulcast